Everyone, welcome to our next video in this clothing series from Rooms of Wonder by Johanna Basford. We've got our Castle Art Soft Touch out again for this one, and I'm just having a little look at the dress to think about what colour it might be. Now the fact that it is sleeveless makes me think that it is part of a summer wardrobe item, and unless it's a pinafore, but I think it looks more summery, so we want something a little bit lighter. Now we don't actually have any yellow colours yet on our page very much, because I'm not very good at colouring in yellow, but I was wondering whether we might put a bit in the dress just for something a little bit different really, and you know, to so we can a bright colour on the page, a splash of colour I suppose. So I'm thinking I might not just do yellow, I might combine it with maybe golds a little bit, you know, this sort of more ochres and things. But I'm going to start, I think, with a lemon yellow. There we go. And do this main part of the top and then some of the stripes and sort of go from there really. So I'm just going to make a start. So I hope everyone's good today. It is still Monday morning, like it was when I recorded yesterday's this one. I am doing a few videos in a batch. I find it's much better, actually, a tip for anyone who makes their own videos, is that if you can make a little batch of videos, it can actually save a lot of time, because if you edit in a batch and things like that, I find it seems to work better for me anyway, rather than making one, that exporting it off the camera, editing it, putting it up on YouTube. If you can do it in a batch, it just seems to be much better. So that's how I tend to work anyway. So I'm trying to make the edges darker. We have done this on all of the other clothing as well, but I'm not sure whether I want to really darken this with a grey or a brown like we have on some of the items, because it's such a delicate colour. So I'm hoping that if I just build it up a little bit, it might work without that. Now I'm thinking, as our stripes have worked, I'm thinking maybe I'm going to use this yellow for this skirt as well. So I'm going to do that actually. Again, try and make it a little darker at the edge, but I also have to think about the pleats. So I'm just doing this edge to start with. Not really, I don't think they're really pleats. Gathers maybe is a better word. And then I'm going to have a look. Is the shadow going to be that side or this side? I can have a look from the way the pattern is cut off. I think the shadow is going to be this side. So a little bit light in the centre. Ooh, trying to not lean my hand on that side of the desk, it doesn't make that rattling noise. I don't know. Excuse me, I don't even know if you can hear it. But anyway, my husband went off to work today saying he had a cold. I think this one is in front. I think that pleat is, the shadow is on the right hand side. So I'm going to do this one perhaps more lightly across the whole thing. Yeah, he's been sneezing and was a bit miserable last night. I feel ill, you know. And he went to a party yesterday at his father's house. His father had asked us all to go and help out with the party, serving the food and drinks and things, but the children just couldn't do it. One of them's got coursework due in very soon, and so he needed to be doing that. So I think this is darker along here, so I'm going to layer that up a bit more. And I needed to stay and sort of supervise really to make sure. I thought he would need some help. He didn't need me to help him, but he needed me to tell his brother to stop distracting him all the time. So I was glad I was here. So husband went and helped on his own. We'd already said as soon as he asked that we wouldn't be able to spare the time this particular weekend, and unfortunately he couldn't find anyone else to do it, so husband went to the rescue. But because father-in-law is in his early 80s, a lot of his friends are a similar age, and so my husband is worried that he might have spread the cold germs amongst them. But it was a neighbourhood party, so it was sort of neighbours rather than friends, so there is a mix of ages really. Hopefully all is okay. I don't think husband was that unwell really. He might have just had a bit of a runny nose because of the weather, do you know what I mean? Right, so there's our yellow base dress. I think that's enough of that colour. So what colour was that? That was the lemon yellow. Now I'm thinking what's going to work with that. See, I've got like a Naples yellow, more cadmium yellows, and I think if we go to orange or warm yellows, it might not work. I'm wondering, I sort of was almost tempted to mix it with a blue, but I had said no blue in this corner, so maybe not. We could use oranges, peaches. If I was the dress designer, what would I put with this? I think we'll go for this colour. Where is it? It's quite a reddish colour. It's a bit of a gamble, but I think I need to make it look significantly different. If I use another yellow, I think it's going to just look the same. Do you see what I mean? And you won't see the difference in the stripes. I'm going to try this. If you don't like it, you can pick your own colour, but now I'm going to try, like I did with the yellow, to make it a bit darker here, then lighter towards the centre. Again, this is now looking a little less summery. I know I'd said about doing yellows and golds, but I just wasn't sure that the lemon yellow would work with a gold somehow. So anyway, maybe it doesn't work with this either. But we're doing it now. Well, I am. Maybe you're not. Maybe you've gone, what is she thinking? Now the ribbon and the waistband here, I think I'm sort of assuming that that bow is going to be the same colour as the waistband. I've got a different colour in mind, so we'll see. See if it works in the end. Now I'm going to do all of these little triangles. Now I'm going to try and think about how I've shaded the page, so it's darker on the edge, slightly lighter in the centre there, and just try and follow that pattern through as I put my pattern on, so these are lighter. It just takes a little bit of thought, a little bit of patience, but if you're not interested in worrying about that, then you can just colour them all the same, with the same amount of layers. I'm just layering up a little more on those edges. Oh, my desk is rattling again. With this one we kept fairly pale anyway, didn't we? So when husband came home yesterday, came home with lots of food. Came home with a couple of half packets of crisps, some sausage rolls and cheese and onion sort of rolls, you know, like a sausage roll, and some little cheesy biscuits, and so family had a bit of a feast. And husband was a bit worried because that sort of food is not really good for weight loss, and he is trying to lose weight at the moment. So but this morning he was okay. He'd only put on a little bit. This is red ochre. Now I'm not a big one for weighing. I'm not, and I weigh a bit because I like to just keep an eye, but I've just broken it. This sharpener, definitely going to put a new blade in here later. I weigh occasionally, but not every day, and I'm lucky because my weight stays pretty much the same because, well, I eat the same sorts of things and do the same sorts of things, so there's no reason why it would really change. I've missed one, haven't I? How many of you noticed? Right. So, but he was worried that he would have put on, and he didn't. He put on 0.2. This is not really sharpened very nicely, but I'm going to try it. again, more intense layer, so layer it up near the edge and then less as we go across here. I've got under there as well. Now I want the these bits to be darker because there'll be more shadow in there. But no, he didn't put on too much weight, but what he did was he had no meals, no lunch or evening meal, and he just had a few nibbles. So I don't know if he's going to be really hungry today. I would be. So bring that down and then up and fade towards the centre so you've got a little bit of shine, because I always think a ribbon is nice if it's a little bit shiny. So it sort of looks like it's silky satin. I've probably said this a billion times on this page already. I want the edges of that to be, I'm going to try and sharpen a bit more. I get nervous once the pencils start breaking. Oh, that's fine. I get nervous it's going to keep breaking. So I'm going to put a dark bit there. No, this lead is really wobbly. And in there. I don't know how easy it is for you to see. But yeah, I think he was okay because he's lost about 9 pounds recently. He's cutting out his sort of milky coffees a little bit and having less of them. He really enjoys them. And trying not to snack at work. And they have a sort of canteen which sells all sorts of things that he likes, which is tricky. Now we've got this little pattern at the top. I haven't forgotten. I'm thinking I'm going to do it this colour. I think it will just tie it all together. Oh, I told you it was wobbling. Oh, oh dear. Oh, I've got another sharpener in here. I'm going to try this one instead. Oh, it's not shut. It's my Prisma sharpener. There we go. Oh, I put it in the wrong hole and it's sharpening to it to be really long. It's taking ages to bring it to a point. I don't know if you can hear me. There, look at that. Woohoo! That's rather nice. But is it going to break? I'm going to be really gentle. Yes, her husband had got to the highest weight he'd ever been in his life, so it sort of scared him a bit. He wants to lose. He'd also become obese, which is obviously not a nice feeling. I'm just wondering whether to put a little something at the edge of here to just, I know, just make it seem a little bit darker. I'm going to use the Davys grey just on the edges to darken them. I don't know how well this is going to work, so you might want to wait and see if you think it's working. I think it's working. So really just basically going right against Johanna's line and just bringing it in a teensy bit. Making it wobble again. I need to get some, I put some paper on my desk to stop it wobbling underneath the, where it sort of join is complicated to explain. But anyway, and I think it was cardboard and I think it's sort of squished, so it's wobbling again. I need to have a crawl under the desk and investigate. Oh gosh, talk about investigating. My poor boy yesterday, he went off to make his bed, wash the sheets, and he came down and he said, "Mum, you're doing it." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "There's a giant spider on my pillow." I said, "Oh, okay. I'm not scared of spiders. I'm going to put a bit under here." And So I'd searched around for something to catch it with, you know, as you do, but sort of scoop it up into a container and throw it out the window. He was like, Mum, aren't you just going to kill it? I was like, no. Anyway, by the time I got upstairs to have a look, it had absolutely vanished, couldn't be found. Husband wanted to go up. He said to me, oh, actually it was a daddy longlegs. I said, oh, well, there's mayflies, aren't there? I said, oh, it would probably flown away then. You know, they fly. And then my husband started getting into a panic. I don't want that flying around the house at night. I said, oh dear. So he wanted to look for it. So he went off upstairs to son's bedroom and then came down again and said, couldn't find it. I said, oh, okay. I said, did you look under the bed? He was like, no, I was too scared. I was like, okay. But where did you look? Oh, just on the bed. I was like, well, I looked on the bed and I'd made the bed. So it wasn't there. So anyway, went back up to look, but no, it had disappeared. No idea where it's gone. There we go. I'm going to leave that there. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to go and change the blade in my sharpener and then come back and do that skirt. I had an idea. We shall see if it's going to work. But there's the dress. I don't know how summery it looks now I finished it, but at least we've used a different colour. And I'm quite pleased with how the way that davys grey sort of went down in the end. So and the colours worked together. So I'm happy with it anyway. It's not a dress I would wear, but I'd never wear a sleeveless dress. I'd probably never wear a dress, to be honest. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a really lovely day and happy colouring.